Ever feel like you're in the hot seat, staring at a coding challenge, and suddenly your mind goes blank?
Oh, tell me about it. The pressure can be intense.
Today we're tackling how to not just survive, but totally own those coding interviews. We're diving into an article from, get this, October 11th of this year. It's called 10 Common Mistakes That Sabotage Your Coding Interview and How to Avoid Them. Talk about timely, right?
Totally. This is going to be super relevant for anyone prepping for interviews.
Okay, so the article jumps right in with a mistake that seems obvious but trips people up all the time, failing to clarify the problem.
It's so easy to get caught up in the moment and want to start coding right away, But honestly, interviewers are more interested in how you approach a problem.
Yeah, it's about the thought process, not just spitting out a perfect solution on the first try.
Exactly. They want to see how you think, how you break things down.
So before you even think about writing code,
ask questions.
Seriously.
Like, channel your inner 5-year-old? Exactly. Pretend the interviewer is a client who's giving you a vague description of what they want.
And you're making sure you're on the same page before you build them, like a whole website.
Yes. Ask clarifying questions. It shows you're thorough, that you think systematically.
And it proves you actually listen and can gather requirements, which is huge in the real world.
Oh, for sure. And here's a little secret. The article mentions that some interviewers do this on purpose.
What, like a test?
Totally. They leave out details just to see if you'll ask for clarification. It's all about those communication skills.
So asking questions is like a secret weapon.
Think about it. Who would you rather work with? Someone who dives in head first without a clue, or someone who takes the time to understand the problem fully?
Okay, that's a no-brainer. All right, mistake number 2, time management. Why is it that time seems to warp in an interview?
Oh, I know, right? It's like dog years or something. The pressure just gets to you. The article really emphasizes practicing with time limits.
So it's like training for a marathon.
Yes. You wouldn't show up on race day without putting in the miles.
But how do you actually practice that?
Break your practice sessions into time segments. So like 10 minutes to analyze the problem, 20 to code, 10 for testing.
So you build that muscle memory of allocating time.
Exactly. It helps you make the most of those precious interview minutes.
Okay, on to a mistake I think we've all made. Forgetting to think out loud.
Yep.
It feels weird, right?
It can feel awkward. Definitely. But silence in an interview is like deafening.
Because they don't know what's going on in your head.
Exactly. Even if it seems obvious, verbalize your thought process.
It's like inviting them on a journey through your brain.
Yes. And it lets them course correct you if you're going down a rabbit hole.
They want you to succeed. It's not a trap.
Right. They're on your team. So talk it out.
Don't be afraid to let those thoughts out. Okay, we've covered a lot, but there's more. All right, moving on to a mistake that can really trip you up, ignoring those pesky edge cases.
Edge cases, those little devils. They can really throw a wrench in your code if you're not careful.
It's like you think you've thought of everything.
Exactly. Like imagine you're building a bridge, right?
Okay, I'm with you.
You've tested it with normal traffic, everything's fine. But then, bam, a truck way over the weight limit tries to cross.
Oh no, that's not good.
Exactly. Addressing edge cases shows you're thinking beyond the happy path. You're considering those what-if scenarios.
So how can you get better at anticipating these curveballs?
Well, one way is to systematically think about extreme values or unusual inputs.
Like what?
What if the array is empty? What if you get a negative number when you're expecting a positive one?
Oh, I see, those sneaky little things.
Yep. Thinking through those possibilities can really bulletproof your code.
And impress those interviewers. Speaking of impressing interviewers, let's talk clean code.
Music to my ears. It's not just about making the machine happy.
It's about making your code readable for humans.
Right, exactly. Think about working on a huge project with a team.
Collaboration is key.
Exactly. Readable code makes it so much easier to work together, debug, and even just understand your own thought process later on.
It's like, would you rather decipher a messy handwritten note or read a clearly typed document?
Exactly. And it's just good practice. Shows you care about your craft.
So any quick tips for writing cleaner code?
Use meaningful variable names. Ditch those cryptic abbreviations.
Out with the num users, in with the number of users.
You got it. And don't forget about comments.
Oh yeah, comments are important.
A well-placed comment can really clarify your logic. Makes your code self-documenting.
Like leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for anyone who ventures into your code base.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about a mistake I think we're all guilty of. Overlooking test cases.
Especially when time is ticking away.
Right. But testing is crucial. It's like baking a cake, but not checking if it's cooked through.
Uh-oh, cake disaster.
Exactly. Thorough testing shows you care about quality and reliability.
So even under pressure, you've got to make time for testing.
Even outlining a few key test cases, covering both normal functionality and those edge cases, shows you're thinking ahead.
So even if you can't write out every single test, verbally explaining your approach helps.
Totally. It demonstrates a commitment to quality, even when time is tight.
Awesome. Now, on to a mistake that can really set you apart, failing to optimize. You've got a solution, it works, but it's about as efficient as...
A snail trying to win a race.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
It's not just about finding a solution, it's about finding an elegant, efficient solution.
So it's like taking the scenic route versus finding the shortcut?
Exactly. Interviewers are impressed by candidates who go the extra mile to optimize.
But how do you even begin to optimize?
Understanding time and space complexity is a good starting point.
Those sound kind of intimidating.
They're not as scary as they sound. Time complexity is basically how the runtime of your code scales with the input size. And space complexity is about how much memory your code uses.
So even if I don't have every algorithm memorized, just showing that I'm thinking about efficiency and can explain those concepts is a good thing.
Absolutely. It shows you're thinking about the bigger picture, not just churning out code.
Okay, I like it. All right, next up, not asking for help when you're stuck. It feels almost like admitting defeat, you know?
It's natural to feel that way, but honestly, in the real world, software development is a team effort.
No one expects you to know everything.
Yes, it's all about how you approach challenges and seek help when you need it.
So speaking up is actually a good thing.
Absolutely. If you hit a roadblock, don't be afraid to ask for clarification or a little guidance. It shows you're self-aware and open to collaboration.
It's about viewing the interview as a team effort, not an interrogation.
Exactly.
Okay, on to neglecting to explain your design decisions. Like you've done all this amazing work, but...
But you don't get to show off your thought process.
Exactly.
You could have the most brilliant solution, but if you can't explain the why behind your choices, it loses some of its impact.
It's like presenting a stunning painting without explaining the inspiration or the techniques you used.
Perfectly said. When you explain your design decisions, whether it's your choice of data structures, algorithms, or how you structured your code, you're giving the interviewer a glimpse into your mind.
It's like letting them in on your secret recipe.
Exactly.
All right, we're on the home stretch. Let's tackle the last couple of mistakes. So we've talked about explaining our choices, but what about those times when we hit a wall and can't seem to crack the code? Giving up too easily? That's got to be a killer.
It's tough, right? You're under pressure, the clock's ticking.
You just want the earth to swallow you up.
I've been there. But here's the thing. Interviewers aren't just looking for someone who can solve every problem perfectly. They want to see how you handle those tough moments.
So resilience is key.
Absolutely. Instead of giving up, try reframing the problem. Can you break it down into smaller pieces? Maybe explain what you've tried, see if they have any suggestions.
So even if you don't get to the perfect solution, showing that you can think critically and adapt is huge.
Exactly. It's all about the process, not just the end result.
Makes sense. Now, for the last mistake, and this one might seem like a no-brainer, but failing to prepare.
Oh, man. You would not believe how many people walk into a coding interview without putting in the prep time.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like showing up for a marathon without, ever running before.
Exactly. And preparation goes beyond just brushing up on your coding skills. Research the company, the role.
Show them you're genuinely interested.
Yes. Look into their tech stack, the kinds of problems they solve. Tailor your preparation.
It's about showing that you're invested, you've done your homework.
Exactly. Remember, a coding interview is a two-way street. It's a chance for you to shine and to see if the company's a good fit for you too.
So to wrap up our deep dive, it seems like acing those coding interviews is about more than just technical skills.
Totally. It's about showing you can think critically, communicate effectively, and handle the pressure.
And remember, preparation is key. The more you prepare, the more confident you'll feel, and who knows, you might even start to enjoy those coding challenges.
Right. It's all about perspective.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into comparing those coding interviews. We'll catch you next time.